Greetings, programs. It is I, the toxic gatekeeper that is affectionately known as the OGGM, broadcasting live, large and in charge from the imaginary island off the coast of Costa Rica, affectionately referred to as Site B, here on a Thursday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the 15th day of June in the year of our Lord John Cena, 2023. It is time for today's tasting of the tabletop role-playing game news. And of course, the number one story of the tabletop role-playing game news is the announcement that new TSR, Justin Lanasa, has declared bankruptcy, which amongst everything else that's going on with that, where did the money go? What did he do with it? How is this going to affect the other multiple lawsuits affecting Justin? And quite possibly, what happens to the word, name, property that is TSR, the Game Wizards, and how it connects to D&D and Wizards of the Coast. So, but again, let me just remind you that this is the Justin Lanasa TSR that declared bankruptcy, as opposed to our beloved TSR Concrete Flooring, the single largest retailer of concrete flooring in the Midwest. They're fine. TSR Concrete is fine. Love you guys. No, you know I'm your only supporter. So yeah, new TSR. If you live in the Midwest and you're looking for concrete, yeah, sponsor me, TSR Concrete. Why not? All right. So if you want to know what's going on with that story, head on over to Tabletop Tap Room. Tom will tell you everything that's going on with the TSR bankruptcy, or head on over to Tanker and he'll tell you about it. And while you're there, maybe subscribe, because, you know, Tom and Tanker could both use more subs, and especially Tom, help that boy get to 1,000. And he will be your number one continuing source for the Justin Lanasa new TSR news, because he is much more involved in that story than I am. Okay. There's some free shout out to you, Tom. All right. What else is going on? Blah. All right. Firefly. There's a 10th anniversary of the collector's edition of the Firefly board game coming out. I didn't know it was already 10. This is the crowdfunding campaign from Gale Force 9. It's going to be found on GameFound. So I believe this is the board game. Yeah, board game. And it comes with spaceship figures. Oh, well, okay. That just, yeah. All right, you got me. You got spaceship figures. It's got a bunch of figures that look like the Firefly, and a bunch of some of the other spaceships you saw in the TV show. First TV show about spaceships. You didn't really see a lot of spaceships, you know, other than the Serenity. So, yeah. Blarg. 10th anniversary. It's already made $1 million. Way to go, guys. And it's looking to continue to go with 21 days left. Again, this is the board game, not the role-playing game. So congratulations. Wow. If you're looking for the 10th anniversary of the Firefly board game and want to still support it, go for it. It's there. It's on Kickstarter. We've got a board game called After Us coming out from Pandaris Games. This is a post-Holocaust board game. Pre-orders are currently available from Pandaris Game. We've got Stalker, Stalker, the board game launching from GameFound. It's already surpassed its $800,000 mark, and it's still going. If the name sounds familiar, Stalker, it is a name that has been used before for a video game and some other board games and role-playing games in the past. But this is a brand new version of Stalker. It can be found on Kickstarter as well, and it has already hit $1 million. Congratulations, guys. Another member of the $1 Million Club. Way to go. Yeah. $1 million. How about you give some of that money to me? Privateer Press is halting production on some of their models as they are moving. They're moving. So Privateer Press has discontinuing production for War Machine, Hordes, and Riot Quest models because the faculty where these things are made is moving to a more larger, more productive, more current technology, larger cleaner. I don't know how this works, so I assume they needed the new facility because the technology has changed. The machines are smaller, safer, more computers involved. Who knows? I love the War Machine stuff. As you know, it was one of the few miniature games I actually played. My army was on display at Seth's Games and Anime right till the day they closed, and then Seth sold it to somebody else instead of giving it to me, back to me. But then I sold it to the store, so I guess it was Seth's prerogative to sell it instead of giving it back to me. They will, of course, fulfill any orders they have for pre-existing before they shut down, and then head on over to their new location and then start things up. So don't worry if you've got requests in for a Hordes army or a War Machine army. Yeah. You know, I've always said that the War Machine Hordes Privateer Press setting is probably a better setting for 5e than the D&D because of that magic tech, more in tune with what 5e engine kind of feels like. I think Grim Jim just recently did a review of the Privateer Press Iron Kingdoms fantasy setting. And yeah, I think, you know, that'll be a topic for a whole separate video. But if you're looking for a campaign setting that better uses the 5e engine, because let's face it, the 5e engine is very geared towards one specific style of play. It's sort of, again, probably a topic for a better video, dude. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. We've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again. But there's apparently a highly anticipated board game coming out called Thiefdom, which is not gone live yet, but it looks like it's already hit 61,790 for its Kickstarter. It's got 14 days left to go. A lot of people are very excited about this. This comes from the creators of Clans of Caledonia, and it's about robbing buildings in a quasi-fantasy setting. So if you've ever wanted a board game about playing a thief or group of thieves, here you go. It's 14 days left, already hit 61,000. Apparently getting a lot of good press from the board gaming people. Not sure why, but yeah. Okay, moving on. We already talked about Gallows Spire Survivors. Apparently, during my whole time of talking about it, I was calling it the wrong name. It's Gallows Spire, not Glow Spire, which means if you want to use the word Glow Spire, you still can, because that's not the word that Pathfinder is using. It's called Gallows Spire. So Gallows Spire, I guess, is a dungeon somewhere in the world of Glorian, and this adventure takes place in it, and it's a roguelike bullet hell where you get to play 3 different types of characters. So think Gauntlet type thing. If you're not familiar with bullet hell, like we said before, if you've ever seen Vampire Survivors played on the interweb, that's a version of bullet hell. Basically, from what I understand, you know, just means bullet hell just means there's a lot of stuff going on the screen and lots of bullets and bouncing. It's very busy, and the bips and the bots and the sprites and the sprouts all just blah, 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 blah. Lots of noise, lots of explosions. So if you have somebody with issues with those kinds of things like I do, probably not the game for you. Fallout. Yay, Fallout. Fallout, the role-playing game, and Fallout, the Wasteland Warfare miniature game, both currently being owned by our friends over at the game company whose name I never get right, Modifius or Mophidius. They're announced another line of figures for the Fallout Madness miniature game. This is called the Enclave Assault Force, and it's just a bunch of dudes and dudettes and some sort of power armor. I'm not very impressed with this one. Here, let's take a look at this one, okay? Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Do we have a better picture of these? No. I don't know. These really don't impress me, figure-wise. Maybe it's just the paint job. It's guys in sort of scratch-built armor. And I guess this is the commander, the female in the middle. Doesn't really pop the way some other figure lines do. And I don't know if post-apocalypse Fallout armor runs would be this uniform. I think they look more kit bashed. Just we made it out of whatever's laying around, but we were sort of following a specific model to identify us as all members of one specific clan, troop, city, unit, whatever they're called. But these look way too uniform to really get that we just scratch built them out of whatever was lying around feel. So yeah, it's not the best looking figure I've seen. Okay, moving on. Modifius has released something called 5 Parsecs from Home and 5 Leagues from the Borderlands. These are some of the new ones that they have picked up when they purchased some of those other games. This is from a company called Nordic Weasels Games, and this is made by Ivan Sorensen, who was the lead writer for Nordic Weasel Games. I think that just wins this week's best name for a game company, Ivan. What game company do you work for? I work for Stoplight Games in Cincinnati. Oh, okay. What company do you work for? I work for Nordic Weasel. Yeah, you win. What do we know about 5 Parsecs? It's solo adventure wargaming? You take a crew on expanded adventures set in the 5 Parsecs universe. So it's not a board game. Looks like it's not a role-playing game. Looks like right now it's a board game. I'm not sure what a solo adventure war game would do. So it's just you versus yourself in a war game. Okay. Ghostfire Gaming has a new adventure coming out called Ethereal Expanse Setting Guide. It is on Kickstarter, and it has already made almost $1 million. No, I'm sorry. Don't ever quote me on the numbers I give, because remember, I'm dyslexic. So I could be saying completely wrong, and it turns out I only actually made $10, not $1 million. It's already made $99,883. It's got 1,336 followers and 29 days left. It is a 5th edition Spelljammer setting. Spelljammer, except they're calling it the Astral Expanse, but it's the same thing. It's let's make Spelljammer before Wizards of the Coast makes Spelljammer, so we can jump ahead of that. And when the Wizards of the Coast, Planescape comes out, or the next version of Spelljammer comes out, we can make a better one. So this is Spelljammer, Planescape style game for 5e. So they're, right there. You've got to let us see if we can make a better Spelljammer before the next expansion for Spelljammer comes out, or let's see if we can do a better job with Planescape. So boats flying through the Astral Sea. Monty Cook is deciding to get into the Monster Creature Index, because remember, if you own a game company, you will inevitably make a monster book. Now, I've tossed this theory out before, but I'm going to toss it out again. Pound for pound, there are probably more creature books put out than any other type of supplement for hobby. And I'm not just talking like Dean, third-party 5e monster books, though there are a lot of third-party 5e monster books. I think if you made a stack of third-party 5e monster books that have been made since 2014 and compare that with every other type of third-party product that has been made for 5e, the stack for monster books would be astronomically higher, because when in doubt, Monsters. People always want new monsters and cool monsters or new takes on monsters. So Monty Cook has decided to do that with a Cypher System Creature Index, which will have, I guess, a collection of all the monsters and creatures and stuff that he has made in one place, both online and as a book. So you can go to the Cypher System Creature Index website. Let's go there now. Bam. Here we go. Monty Cypher System Creature Index. This is what we're dealing with. And then you enter the level you want. So let's go level there. What type? We want horror. We want modern. And then we want, I don't know, environment. Anywhere. What is their motivation? Accumulating wealth. And there we go. And then we get the monsters. Though I didn't get any because I guess he doesn't have any. So let's go. Fantasy. Guess it hasn't been finished. Okay, it's not finished yet. But you get the general idea. So I guess this will both be a book and a website. So if you're using the award-winning Cypher system for your game of choice and need a quick way to generate some monsters and stuff, here you go. Cypher System Creature Index. Link down below. Thank you, Monty Cook. Now perhaps just finish one thing. Finish one thing, dude. Like Poultice. Arcana Unearthed. Blah. People are making dice. Yay. There is a 40 mission sci-fi dungeon crawler coming out called Phantom Epic. This is a remake of a previously existing 40 level sci-fi dungeon crawler video game, board game. It's already reached 56,000 on Kickstarter. 27 devils left. If the name sounds familiar, this is their second attempt to put this out there. So it's got 40 scenarios that you board game your way through to do spacey type, dungeon-y type stuff. No two games are the same until you go through all 40. And finally, let's save the best for last. Chaosium has now announced that the hardback release of the basic role-playing Universal Game Engine remake will be available in October. You remember when they announced this shortly after the OGL thing came out with the PDF, which received less than favorable reviews. And they said, oh, the physical product will be out by the end of March. No. The physical product will be out at the end of May 23rd. It'll be out May 23rd. No, sorry. It's not. I guess we ran into some problems. Printing's hard. So now the physical copy will be available in October. The fact that the product got less than favorable reviews has nothing to do with the fact that we've delayed it from May to October. We just don't want to get confused with all the other products that are coming out during the summer. So we've moved this to October. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that we now need to go in and fix all the things that were awful that led to the less than favorable reviews. No. I know we said it would be out in May, but we've decided to delay it because Cthulhu. So there you go. If you were looking forward to this like I was before I found out that it was not that as good as I thought, now you can save your money till October, which means you can just use that money to head on over to Big Geek Emporium and buy my merch. That's right. Why waste all your money on a 100-page, $100 monster book when you can get a 15 monster books, each $2 each 10 or more pages dedicated to one specific monster and all the various variations of one that's a specific monster. Minions on a Mission issues 1 for $15 are still available on Big Geek Emporium. Also, don't forget this exists. WRETCHED Vigilantes by yours truly and Miguel over at the Red Room is available print on demand from Lulu for about $30 plus shipping. It is awesome, if I say so myself. And I'm already working on the first supplement, so there's going to be an inevitable supplement. And there you go. There's all the tabletop role-playing game news that has nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast in under 20 minutes. If you appreciate this format, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this type of stuff ever again, let me know. If you're upset because I haven't made fun of Wizards of the Coast yet today, don't worry. We can still make fun of Justin Lanasa and everything that's going on with new TSR. And again, head on over to Tabletop Tap Room for all the latest new TSR news. But don't worry, it's new TSR that's in trouble, not our beloved TSR Concrete Coverings, the single largest retailer of concrete coverings in the Midwest and my unofficial sponsor. Sponsor me! TSR Concrete Coverings. Who else gives you as much free press as I do? Till next time, I'm the OG GM reminding you to stay safe because it's raining. And get off my